Hello there again. So in this video we're going to talk about two contenders, two transfers Manchester United can do right now in the next upcoming summer to replace Paul Pogba or to deal with their midfield crisis issue right now. So as we know, Manchester United's new manager is trying to build a team based on the youth and experience mixture. And there are players such as Sancho, Ronaldo, Greenwood, Rashford, etc. present, and he can do great with them. And there are rumors of Erik Ten Hag coming in as well. So, but right now, Rangnick is on the, taking care of every business, and he has basically eyed two transfer players who could solve the midfield crisis right now at Manchester United. Manchester United midfielder Paul Pogba is currently was one of the major players in our midfield who used to hold the midfield together. But right now, that issue is quite, that's quite confusing because he's always being injured. He's constantly under injury, due to which he's unable to basically, take into account any of his playing matches and show any of his forms properly. So, due to his injury issues and due to the issues where basically he's unable to perform, Paul Pogba is currently, under the radar to be transferred from Manchester United to another club by Rangnick. And Rangnick thinks he has found two transfers who are, one is basically one of them is Amadou from RB Leipzig, and the other most probably is the player Marseille of Marseille midfielder Boubacar Kamara. These are Haidara and Kamara. These two players are on the line to replace Paul Pogba. So what Rangnick has said, if a player doesn't want to play for a club like Manchester United, even in the long term, I don't think it makes sense to convince him to change his mind. This is such a massive club with fantastic support. I don't think anyone at the club should try to convince a player to stay. Let him come back, get fully fit and training with the team. Then we will see where we stand. United have been in talks over a move for Amadou Haidara, a player who Rangnick already he knew very well from RB Leipzig for a long time. So for a long time, Mr. Amadou Haidara had been in talks to move in from RB Leipzig. The Mali midfielder joined the German club when Rangnick was manager, and the manager could be reunited with the 23-year-old, soon at Old Trafford. However, Haidara is not the only midfielder mentioned in connection with the move to Manchester United. According to Athletic, United are also one of a number of clubs keeping tabs on Marseille midfielder Boubacar Kamara. The 22-year-old, who can also play in central defense, is out of contract in the summer and has apparently, reportedly caught the eye of Bayern Munich, Barcelona, and top four rivals, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, all of them. And even Newcastle United, who are struggling to find a player right now. So I know these two players, these players might be in demand. Man United has targeted them, but Newcastle is also going for them. And with their change in ownership, now they have a huge backing. They have a huge backing or backup of of funds for basically their player signings. And with these kind of backups, it's quite obvious that they will be able to sign new players. It appears youth is now priority to our coach Ralf Rangnick. Other than Ronaldo, he doesn't seem to prefer a lot of experienced players, because Ronaldo has amazing speed, owing to which he is able to adjust to Ralf Rangnick's style of playing and then deliver as well. As with Haidara, whose release clause basically kicks into gear in the summer, United could be tempted to move for Kamara, even if it means a slightly larger outlay. While Pogba is said to be enthused by the prospect of playing under Rangnick, he will be free to speak to other clubs in January if he does not agree to a contract of extension. So he will be free. So what do you guys think about that? he will be absolutely free, to talk about extensions and all of that. So these two players, so I think, as Raniak has said, other than Ronaldo, he hasn't been impressed by that much of the experience. And as he has said, Manchester United have a lot of backlog. You have players like, Pogba, you have players like Juan Mata, you have players like, Phil Jones, who are just sitting there, and taking the money out of Manchester United, taking the time out of them. They're injured most of the times. So that's why Raniak has, he's planning to take out all the bad players and bring in all the good players, and take out all the trashy players who are just sitting and just taking the club on. So that's one of his basically one of his goals. So yeah, it's one of his goals. And recently, we have seen that Paul Pogba has always been rigged by injuries. And for the past 2 years, we're hearing, that he's going to leave now, he's going to leave now, he's going to leave now. But he doesn't leave, it's because he's injured, and he wants, and whenever Man United are doing better, he wants to stay. Because the fact is, no big club wants to pay this much money for a player who's not in form and injured. We have other players, like we have young players who the clubs are eyeing right now. Because most of the top clubs, and we have players like Ronaldo, Sancho, Greenwood, and Fred, young players who are hungry, with Ronaldo being a world-class player. So Pogba is not as basically fast as Ronaldo, not as fit as Ronaldo as well. Have you seen Ronaldo getting injured? I haven't seen. And the pace at which he plays, oh my god, it's unbelievable. The pace at which Ronaldo plays. So in this case, I agree what they have said, that we do need a CDM. We need a young CDM who can support our attacking. And this is a problem that has haunted United for a long time. We need some few good midfielders who can do both attack and defense at the same time. So if that happens, then there's a very good possibility that that Paul Pogba might get more or less game time. And if he thinks he deserves more game time, then he should earn it. There's no reason for you to be constantly poke the team, not perform, be injured, be out of form. I mean, that's what I've seen him for the past few years. I have full respect to him. He's one of the best midfielders. But Raniak has some very strict philosophy. If you don't perform in the training, if you don't perform in matches, you're given chances, you shall not be given any more chances. You shall have, if you don't want to stay, you can go. And that's one of his statements, because the kind of football he plays, that's a very high pressing, high counter attack, high pressing, high defensive football. It involves a lot of speed, a lot of agility, a lot of counter attacks. So if you can't adjust to that, then I think it's better to go. I think he should let the young players come in who can be trained really well under Ronaldo. So what do you think about these two transfers? Let me know. Till then, take care for today.